Agricultural unit, engineering unit. So just to give a brief background of the Soil Solution, who is hosting this program today. The Soil Solution is a non-governmental organization, not-for-profit organization in the Gambia with a mission to protect and make available suitable soils that physically and structurally support plants with adequate water and nutrients for plants. With the support of the United States government through the Citizen Diplomacy and Action Fund, who are our partners that we are currently dealing with, in partnership with the technical unit of the Department of Agriculture, the Soil and Water Management Unit Services, the Regional Agricultural Directorate of West Coast Region, and the Gambia College School of Agriculture will host this event, which is called the Soil Week. So therefore, I will just want to stop here for the meantime and then introduce our first event, which is going to be on welcoming remarks of the event. This I would like to call on Mr. Mustafa Drame, the Regional Agricultural Directorate, Director of the Regional Agricultural Directorate, to come and give his welcoming remarks. Thank you so much. Okay, I think I can do that when he comes. Then I can do that. Yeah, it's all the same. I can recognize him. So welcome, Mr. Drame.
Let me first of all say Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Representatives of the Department of Agriculture here present, other technical units present here, agricultural engineering, I'm not sure if plant protection services are here. Okay, they are here, Mr. Fadi. Media and all other participants who are present here, and all other participants present here. I think it is my singular honor to welcome all of you to Regional Agricultural Directorate, West Coast Region. I'm not Director General, but I'm the Regional Director of West Coast. So we are West Coast, I'm a West Coast Regional Director for Department of Agriculture. So my role here is to welcome all of you to this important meeting where the issues of soil will be discussed. And I think it is very important that this thing has come at the right time now. Looking at our soils now, there's a need to take a practical steps towards addressing the issues that are affecting our soils. So I will expect the people who are going to talk on these issues to come out with tangible solutions to our soils so that our production and productivity will remain as it is now or improved so that the food and nutrition security that we are all yearning for can be attained in the shortest possible time. So without much ado, I welcome all of you, and I expect that the deliberations will go as planned, and issues of relevance to soils will be discussed here and practical steps that need to be taken are also identified, so that from here we'll start working on those to make sure that we achieved our objectives. So thank you very much, and I would love to be here throughout, but I'm busy, as you all know. The president is on tour. He's coming to our region, so we have these TAG meetings, and the TAG also has subcommittees, and I'm also one member of these subcommittees. So this is why I cannot be here with you throughout, but I would love to be here with you throughout. But anytime I have a free time, I'll come and see what is happening here. But my representative is here, Bakar Gassama is here to represent me, and I'm sure he can represent me adequately. So thank you very much, and thank you for coming.
Wonderful speech, very summarized and very much exciting. So we are really grateful, and then thank you so much for that. Before going any further, I would just like to recognize the presence of Honorable Lamin Fati, who is from the PPS unit, Plant Protection Services unit, Department of Agriculture. I would also like to recognize the presence of Bakari Gassama, Regional Agricultural Directorate Officer. Thank you so much for coming to grace this occasion. Yes, I introduced him, yeah. Yeah. So just to proceed with the agenda of the program today, we will also like to talk about today the relevance and social sustainability in the Gambia. So in this topic, I would like to call upon Mr. Abdurrahman Diop, Director of Soil and Water Management Unit, to come and give us an insight of this topic today. Thank you so much.
Department of Agriculture, Mr. Mustafa Drame, and other representatives of other technical services units of the Department of Agriculture, in the names of Mr. Fati for PPS and Mr. Jaune for engineering units of the Department of Agriculture. My name is Abdurrahman Diop. I am the current Director of Soil and Water Management, as initially introduced by the Master of Ceremony. At the same time, I double as the chair of this NGO, the chair to the board of directors of the Soil Solution. Well, I don't know why we didn't start with prayers. Traditionally, we normally start with prayers, but I hope everybody does that in your own way. At this point in time, we pray that Allah guide us through the process until the end of the process. My task is to discuss on the relevance and soil sustainability in the Gambia. Well, soil is the core. Soil is the basic. Soil is the number one or number two most relevant factor as far as agriculture is concerned. I can always argue. But most of the time, we tend to forget, be it on the side of the farmers or other practicing agriculturists, we tend to forget about the role of soil in agricultural production. We mostly tend to focus more on inputs of agricultural production, like fertilizer, good seeds, and so on. But you will come to realize that without the soil, agricultural production may not be possible, or even if it is possible, will be at a very limited pace. You know, soil is where everything starts. You will come to know today that it is in this very soil that the tissues of any plant grow, be it tree crops, be it annual crops, or whatever type of crop you can think about. The tissues are formed in the soil first. If you grow a seed, the first thing you see, in most cases, you see 2 leaves propping up from the soil. And these leaves, come as a result of something you have sown in the soil in the name of seed or cutting or whatever part. Like in the case of cassava, it is cuttings. You can have it in different forms, but in any case, whatever the case, the tissues of plants are formed through the combination of water, this light, sunlight you see, and this carbon dioxide that we human beings, produce in our inhalation and exhalation of air. These are the 3 that combine in the soil to produce the tissues that you see in any plant grown all around the world, anywhere. That's where it starts. So that tells you that life, as far as plants are concerned, starts in the soil. But this very soil also has issues like human beings do have issues. They have health issues. If I say health issues, like you have toxic elements that affects the soils, which also directly affects the plants that are grown in the soil. Human beings do have health issues. You have poisoning, you have malaria, you have other issues, So soil also have those issues. Soil has other issues like degradation in the form of, let's say, erosion. If those kind of phenomena happen in the soil, there is a problem because what the soil needs to provide for the life and upkeep of the plant may not be available. So, in short, it is very important to take care of the soil in a sustainable manner as well, because sometimes we do want to take care of our soil in ways that are even hazardous to the plants and also to the environment. So that's why we are talking about sustainable soil management. Coming back to the history of celebrating this Soil Week, it all comes as a factor of the World Soil Day. There is an organization under the auspices of FAO that is called Global Soil Partnership. I am the national focal point for the Global Soil Partnership in the Gambia. This Global Soil Partnership is tasked with the responsibility of assisting technically and in some cases financially all activities or efforts geared towards maintaining soils of the whole world. So it's not a Gambian thing, it's a national thing. Every year we do have convergence, mostly in Rome at the FAO headquarters. But at the end of every year, around December, 5th of December is normally celebrated as World Soil Day. So it is up to different countries in the world to celebrate the World Soil Day in any form you can. That's why we here in the Gambia, decided that we will start with the Soil Week before the actual day of the World Soil Day celebration. And all celebrations are also communicated to the Global Soil Partnership. So I personally introduced the soil solution to the Global Soil Partnership because its work is entirely on soils. So along the line, there came that recognition of the soil solution so that now in collaboration with my office, my unit, the Soil and Water Management Services of the Department of Agriculture, Ministry of Agriculture, activities are being hosted and activities are being implemented in collaboration with my office. Recently, I think they have just concluded a research on oyster shells performance as far as pH of soils is concerned. Maybe I'll come to that later. So just to give you a brief synopsis of that. So that's why now Soil Solution the Gambia is now working with the Ministry of Agriculture through my unit to be doing activities that are related to those global activities of the Global Soil Partnership. Okay, coming down to the topic on hand, that is the relevance of soils. I started with the importance of soil, in the production of agriculture. Most of the time, production is on and in the soil. In rare cases, you will see production done in, let me say, like in the greenhouses, in small quantities, in containers and so on. But we all know that that cannot be done on a large scale. Even the most developed countries are not producing all their food in greenhouses. The large chunk of it is grown in the soil. So soil is invaluable as far as agriculture is concerned. And thank God that my unit, Soil and Water Management in agriculture, is responsible for soil management in the country and as well as irrigation. That's why all activities related to soil are directed towards my unit. So the relevance of soil sustainability in the Gambia goes as far back as, I cannot remember, colonial times or whatever you may call it. I remember there used to be a study in the Gambia that is called the Land Resources Survey that was done in the early 70s, where all the soils of the Gambia, in that study I mean, were looked at, and the photographs were taken of all the country, of all the soils in the country. And during that study, the soils of the Gambia were divided into 24 soil, what they call soil associations. So these are the 24 soil associations that are present in the Gambia. They have their various names. I cannot give you the names of all, but they are written. So it is these 24 associations that we work with in the Gambia, and we even give them our local names. So they have their different characteristics, requirements in terms of fertility and whatever. So it depends on where you are located in the country. We can always determine what type of soil you have as a farmer and probably advise you on what to do with that type of soil. Generally, the Gambian soils are inherently low in fertility. By that I mean the nutrient requirements of the soils in the Gambia are not as high as one may expect. That's why you see farmers using fertilizers all the time, buying these inorganic fertilizers as well as organic fertilizers anyway. But our emphasis is more on the organic fertilizers because those are the ones that we think are chemical free and are even more sustainable to be used as far as agricultural production is concerned. We all know, even in the most developed countries now, the use of organic fertilizers are being promoted more than the use of inorganic fertilizers. Inorganic fertilizers are the chemical fertilizers. Organic fertilizers are the natural fertilizers that, like animal residue, plant residue mixed and into compost and so on. They have more advantage than the inorganic fertilizers. So in all, our soils need some kind of augmentation.
Is it on? Okay, I think it's on. It's on. Yeah. All right. In the Gambia, definitely you have done justice to the topic, and then we are really, really grateful for that insight. Thank you so much. Just to highlight a few of the things he have mentioned, which is about soil, where food begins. Soil is where food begins, and then we cannot have a healthy life without a healthy soil. So definitely that was a very good point. And then also some of the factors which he mentioned was, one of them was soil erosion. We all know what soil erosion is. Soil erosion is the wash away of the top part of the soil, especially the organic matter which is present on the top soil, which is, which is very, very important. From the nutrient cycle, we know that the maximum number of percentage which should be organic matter should be 5%. But if you look at Gambia's soil today, we have like maybe 1 or 2%, according to research. So which means that there is something wrong with our soil, and it's this time that we have to take action and then take action to solve these problems which we are currently encountering in order to attain food security and food sustainability in this country. Just to move to the second activity, I would like to move to the second activity, which is the current soil solutions and the actions in the Gambia. The solutions which are currently ongoing on soils in the Gambia and the actions which are being taken on soils in the Gambia. So I would like to call upon Mr. Ibrahima Jara, the Executive Director of the Soil Solution NGO, to come and give us an insight of this topic. Mr. Jara, you are welcome to the platform. Thank you.
Enthusiast than to face the press on a Thursday morning at 10 a.m. It is really a very big pleasure to have all of you here, and a pleasure that adjectives cannot describe. So I just want to go straight to the matter, why I'm here. First of all, I want to say a big good morning to you all the press and print media, the Director, Soil and Water Management Services Unit, the Department of Agriculture, the Director who just left, the Director of West Coast Region, who is also here represented by Mr. Bakari Gassama, the representation of the Agricultural Engineering Unit, Mr. Lamin Jaune, also the representation of Plant Protection, Mr. Lamin Fati, my able boss here, Bakari Gassama, my colleagues here on the guest tables, our delegates, the farmers, journalists, and any other persons, welcome. Like Senghor said, I'm Ibrahima Jara, the current Executive Director of the Soil Solution, which actually is organizing this historical event, spread across 6 days, where we will be raising awareness, intensive awareness raising on sustainable soil management and also the relevance of soils. Why is it important for us to have a healthy soil in order to build a civilized and an advanced society in the Gambia? The Soil Solution has a mission that is to protect and make available suitable soils that physically and structurally support plants with adequate nutrients and then water supply. And I believe in my further deliberation, you'll come to see how we are doing this in the Gambia and also beyond. So the Week of Soil is actually, let me say, first of its kind. We have been celebrating World Soil Days since 2019, like Mr. Job mentioned. And Mr. Job is not only the Director of Soil and Water Management, but he is also the board chair or the board director for the Soil Solution NGO, and also playing some international roles in the Gambia, that is representing the Global Soil Partnership as the national focal point. We have been celebrating World Soil Day since 2019. We've partnered with the Soil and Water Management Services. We've partnered with FAO and also the Department of Agriculture to host the first ever World Soil Day celebration in 2019, which was also followed suit by a national framework development on soils, where we invited several stakeholders responsible for managing soil, responsible for making decisions on soil and policies on soil, to converge at Mercy Hotel on a 3-day event, where we developed a framework which was meant to look for resources, mobilize resources, and then implement programs in the Gambia in order for us to be able to sustainably manage our soils. But however, we are also disrupted by the normal COVID-19, and I think we've not let the agenda rest. The files are not only drinking dust, but also we are trying to make sure we seek the files and then look for potential donors to this projects. So the week is dedicated to celebrate the actions of various organizations and individuals around the country, to raise awareness about the importance of soil health and also its role in playing a sustainable life on Earth. The significance of soil health cannot be overstated, like Mr. Job mentioned, but it is a very vital resource that supports plants' growth and provides essential nutrients for human and animal life. It also plays a crucial role in regulating Earth's climate and water cycles. However, soil health is threatened by various factors ranging from deforestation, like he said, urbanizations. We've seen the real estates developing estates all over the country, degrading some of our lands and then clearing some of our lands, exposing it to threats like erosion and runoff waters, and also intensive agricultural practices. And this is mainly one of the factors that also accelerate or catalyze the process of land degradation. Our farmers also need capacity, they need understanding of how to sustainably use the soils. And if this is not there, they keep using the soil anyhow, and that is going to lead to its degradation. So some of us might not understand. A degraded land is a land that doesn't have the required conditions in place in order to help plants grow as they need to. And if this happens, you will fall into a shortage of production. We've seen before, like some of us when we were young and then going to the farms, we used to harvest a lot of, let's say, groundnut, which is one of the main cash crops in the Gambia. We used to harvest a lot of groundnuts in a particular land size, let's say in a hectare of land. But today, according to statistics, the highest that you can record or you can harvest in a hectare is 2.5 to 3 tons of groundnut, which is really very low compared to international standards. So these are some of the things that the Soil Solution Gambia and partners are trying to cope in order for us to see that our productive cycles in the Gambia, especially on agriculture, are being boosted. So if you look at the threats of soil in the Gambia, there are many, and also similar to many West African countries. And Mr. Job have also delved on some of them, like erosion, how to call it, pollutions, lack of soil organic matter, that is the loss of soil organic matter, and etc. And these are some of the threats that the Soil Solution is trying to cope. And we look at the actions that the Soil Solution has actually been doing. Let's say for 2023, I want to, all my presentation maybe, or actions are going to be on the 2023 rainy season, okay, what we have been doing in the past rainy season. That just ended on the 27th of October. We have engaged communities at several or different levels, okay? We have been engaging communities in the West Coast region and also communities in the North Bank region. We still don't get what we want. We're still not at the level that we want to be. And then this is also limiting the way we can engage communities. So for the past rainy season, we have been actively engaging communities in the North Bank region, and some of the speakers are here to also testify and also report on what we have been doing with them, and also in the West Coast region, where we typically base our work in the West Coast region on a research. So here it says, we intentionally have been interacting with communities and public decision makers like the Soil and Water Management Services and also the Regional Agricultural Directorate, emphasis on life experience of community members taking a front seat and local knowledge inflicting decision-making process on farming practices and challenges. That is a top-down approach to public decisions making. So we understand that decisions that are made most of the time in the offices in the National Assembly are not decisions that farmers understand. And then it is also important for us to go and engage these farmers, for them to also make their own decisions, informed decisions on how to manage their soils. And this is the reason why we have been actively engaging these communities. And some of the ways that we have been doing this is the successful implementation of a research project in West Coast region, where we were actually trying the use of oyster cells. I don't know if you know oyster cells, but in the local language, it is called yohos. Okay, we have been using the hoti yohos, okay, like this, the oyster cells, okay, in Wolof they call it hoti yohos. This is what we have been using in order to improve the amount of calcium present in the soil and also trying to neutralize the acidity of the soil. Because most of our soils are acidic because they have been used for many years and then proper sustainable plants have not been put in place. So, but before this, we started with a preliminary survey where we were given a number of farmers, a list of farmers, that is up to 10 of farmers, by the Regional Agricultural Directorate under the leadership of under the focal point of Bakari Gassama. And then these were all master farmers. These were all, when I say master farmers, I mean these are all lead farmers or champion farmers, yeah? So we didn't just select the farmers we want to work with just like that. We have to make sure it follows a systematic process, but also a scientific process. So we have a certain number of requirements that we look at, whether the farmer is able to meet them. And then if you are able to meet them, then we also have to go to your farm to assess your soils. Basically, we have these tools here. Okay, this is a soil sensor. before, if you want to test your acidity of your soil, you have to take it to the lab, and then that is going to cost you thousands of dollars. But this, with this tool here, you can just put it in your pocket and then walk to your farm, and then it will tell you the acidity level of your soil. If your soil is acidic, alkaline, it will tell you. If it is at a good condition, it will also tell you. So this is a soil sensor. It's called soil pH sensor. These are equipments that we got from partners from the USA. And these equipments can help you read the acidity level of the soil at spot. In 2 or 3 minutes, you can know the acidity level of your soil. So we've actually went with this kind of materials to test the soil of those farmers that were selected, the 10 farmers that were given to us by the Department of Agriculture, the Regional Agricultural Directorate, and then also not only stopping there, but also collecting samples, soil samples from these farms that we were testing, and these samples were taken to the lab for analysis. So after that, then we were able to select the 4 farmers that we were working with, which some of them, I think 2 of them are here, and then they will be coming later to talk about what we have been doing and the impact that they have seen themselves without using any chemical fertilizer or any chemical substance. So after doing this, then we continue with these 4 farmers based on the ones that have more problems of soils in their lands. We selected these 4 farmers, and then we provide them with accredited seeds, or let me say certified groundnut seeds, which were also certified or recommended by the National Seed Secretariat, and then we begin the research work with them. And in this research, we were trying to evaluate to what quantity do we need to apply oyster in a particular land size. If you have a hectare of land, how much quantity of oyster do we need to apply in that particular 1 hectare in order to make sure what you want from it is gained, yeah? And then also we were trying to understand also what should be the grinding level of the oyster, because like Mr. Job mentioned, these crops cannot absorb these substances when they are in the solid form. They need to absorb it at a particular form that it is ready for absorption. And then we want to understand also what should be the grinding level of the oyster, because the oyster cells are not in powdery form or in smooth forms. They are always in solid and in other shapes. So we need to grind them in order for them to be easily absorbed in the soil. And this was something that we also trying to understand. But also we wanted to answer economic questions that if oyster cells can be used to improve the calcium level in the soil and also neutralize the acidity of the soil, then our farmers don't have to rely or depend on chemical fertilizers or NPKs in order for them to be able to produce groundnuts the way they need to. We are saying that if oyster can be used to improve the productivity level of the groundnuts, then oyster harvesters will not be dumping their oyster cells, which is seen as a waste, okay? But it can be put into sale that will generate income for them. It can be sold to our farmers at a very low cost, at $100 per bag or $200 per bag, and then that can be used to improve groundnut productivity level in the Gambia. But also, we've also started a very important project that we call the Soil Doctors Program. This is
Thank you so much, Mr. Jara. That speech was highly applaudable. You really dilated so many important things about the actions that are currently ongoing on soils by the Soil Solution in partnership with the Soil and Water Management Unit, Department of Agriculture. He mentioned some very much important points, which is about the ongoing solutions like the projects we are actually executing right now, which is one in West Coast region, which is the soil health research, and then the other program, which is called the Soil Doctors Project program, where we are trying to train farmers to become soil doctors. So if you really want to solve the problems of soil, you need to teach people to spread that knowledge. You cannot keep that knowledge to yourself. So this is why the Soil Doctors program is very much important. Farmers need to understand what is soil acidity, how do you know that a soil is acidic, what are the solutions you are supposed to use when a soil is acidic. These are all things that farmers should know. So definitely the project is a very, very good project, and then we hope to expand the project, inshallah, by the grace of the Almighty. Thank you so much, Mr. Jara, for that wonderful insight. So we just of the program, which is benefit sharing by farmers. Benefit sharing by farmers. We have some farmers here Before just calling the first farmer, I will just want to recognize all of them who are present in the program. I will start from the farmers from the West Coast region. We have Jim Toure, who is from Bafuloto. Jim, this is Jim. He is a very hardworking and very dedicated farmer. We have been doing the research with him, and anytime we have an activity with them, he is always present at the field to make sure that we carry out these activities successfully. I would also want to introduce or recognize the presence of Omar Jao, who I also call my son. You know, he is a Fula and I am a Serer, so we always have that joking relationship. Omar also is a very hardworking farmer. We've been to his field not just long ago, last week, to do the yield survey, and then we can really attest that he is also a very hardworking farmer and very much dedicated to his work. So Omar, thank you so much for coming. I also want to move to the North Bank region, where we are doing the soil doctors training. First, I want to introduce and recognize the presence of Bai Nyan. Bai Nyan is one of the farmers who we are training on how to understand soil acidity and how to make sure that they understand the problems that we are encountering on the soil and seeking and providing solutions to the soil. Very soon he will be a very qualified soil doctor, inshallah. I will also want to recognize the presence of Umi Cham. Umi Cham is a lady, is a woman or our mother who is part of the project or the soil doctors program in Banta Killing, and then she also has been always very hardworking and always dedicated to this training. And then I would want to say that welcome, Umi. I think these are the only farmers we have. Where is he? At both regions, that is both West Coast and Banta Killing. So I would like to call upon Mr. Umar Jao, a research farmer. Umar Jao, you are welcome. You are welcome to this program.
di nuyu ñëpp ku nekk sa tur ak sa sant man la Omar Diaw maa ngi dëkk Somita di kontaan lool na si teew si jotaay bi waaye Pël laa waroon a lakk nag ok no problème damay tooñ séeréer rek ok di kontaan lool si teew si jotaay bi nag di nuyu sama gaay mooy Mr. Ibrahima Jara moom ak tiimam bi yëpp ak ñoom seen Bakary Gassama ak directeur bi Moustapha Dramé di nuyu ñëpp di sant ñëpp daal di gërëm ñëpp di kontaan lool nag ci njàng bi ñu Mr. Jara jàngal si suel programme bi am na solo lool parce que gis nañ si njëriñ boo xam ne ni yaatu na foo ko natt rek weesu na fa suel bi comme niñ ko defee programme bi mooy di tool bi dañ koo xaaj def ko four plots ni ko ni pour nit ñi mën ko understand rek first plot bi mooy dañ ko def maanaam 75% of kii bi naka la ti oyster bi yoxos bi so second part bi moom dañ ko def 50% maanaam so di third one bi ñu def ko 25%. fourth part bi moom defuñ ko dara ndax ñu mën a jàng si biir benn tool bi rek xam nga suñu defoon yëpp mun naa am duñ mën a xam ban njëriñ la kii bi am la oyster bi am waaye gis nañ si njëriñ loolu nag waaw parce que kii bi sax nekkuñ benn maanaam bi nga am si plot 1 bi moo gën a quality bi nga am si plot 2 bi boobu tey moo gën a quality bi nga am si plot 3 bi moom moo ëpp ñëpp nag plot bi nga xam ne moom amul dara soo di jaajëfal bu baax Mr. Jara ci xam-xam bu yaatu bi ñu jox parce que mënoon naa am xam-xam ne dem tubaabu maanaam Europe toog foofu moom di ko enjoy gis nga waaye am na njëriñ trop nag parce que man fi parce que mbéy mi suñ ko dimbalee rek mën na am lu bari suñu xale yi nekk di dem ay baag yi nii sax duñ si dem because am naa ñoo xam ne ni ñoom lépp lu ñu am si mbay lañ ko amee loolu nag dara dund ko su dul dimbale baykat yi ba nga xam ne bay kenn mënu dem gannaaw bay parce que ñu soo seetee lu ñuy use yëpp si mbay la jógee li ñu lekk yëpp si dañ ko bay waaw soo di jàll jëfal nit ñi yëpp nag ku nekk sa tur ak sa sant ma emal fii waxtaan bi ba si kanam incha allah.
fii ci jotaay bi ci waxtu wi di am kontaante bu baax ci liggéey bi nga xam ne seen mbokk yu baax yi ñu ngi ko doon liggéey ak ñin muy liggéey bu am solo ci loolu ñu ngi nuyu directeur Moustapha Dramé ak képp koo xam ne yaa koy jàppale ci liggéey boobu waaye ñu ngi nuyu Mr Abdourahmane Diop Mr Ibrahima Jara ak ñi nga xam ne mooy team bi mu àndaloon muy ñu neexal liggéeyal daan ñu fekk ci tool yi ci naaj bu tàng ànd ak loolu yëpp ñi nekk ñoo xam ne ñu lewet leen ñu bëgg seen réew leen waaye ñu ngi nuyu Mr Bakary Gassama ñu ngi nuyu mbooleem ku teew ci jotaay bi rek ci góor ak jigéen di leen wàccee seen wàccuwaay ñun nag dañuy rafetlu bu baax liggéey bi nga xam ne bokkoon nañ ko ak Soyel dinañ ko liggéey ak ñoom depuis yàlla ji commencé nawetam bi mu wàccee ndox ak léegi boo gisee ñu ngi ubbi xam ne doomu aadama bëgg na ko ci dundam lu dul mu ngi ci biir suuf boobu nag yàlla ndaxañ ci lépp loo xam ne mooy barke ak lu bëree bëri loo xam ne njëriñ la loo xam ne doomu aadama bi sax xañ na lottu na ci xam ko waaye su farloo góorgóorlu rek mën naay xam njëriñ loolu nekk ci biir suuf ala kulli haal umpale wuñ ne réew yi nga xam ne dañoo développé yépp ci suuf bi leen jaar ba développé rawatina mbay te lépp loo xam ne ñu ngi koy dundee ci mbay mi lay jógee kon mbay mi war nañ koy fonk su baaxee rek réew mi baax waaye su yàqu it réew mi mën na yàqu yàlla nañ si yàlla musal kilifa yi nga xam ne nag ñoom la yàlla jiital ci wàllu mbay mi war nañuy gestu bu baax baykat yi di leen dimbale surtout baykat yi nga xam ne seen loxo jotu seen gannaaw comme ni ma ko mën a waxee mooy ñi nga xam ne bëgg nañuy liggéey waaye amuñ moyen amuñ doole te loolu bari na ñoo xam ne tey bëgg nañuy bay lool waaye amuñ sax matériel buñ bayee xañ na sax jiw yi amuñu ko dañuy taxale rek bu nawet xasee jot waaye bay rek lañ gëm nag bay rek lañ gëm gis nga ñin li ñuy gën a tardeel mooy mbay miñ bàyyi ci gannaaw te xale yi bàbbeeku ci réew mi di dem baag wi wala di dem bitim réew li ñuy dawal yépp mu ngi Gambia wallaay suñu amoon ñu leen taxawu dimbale leen konoon seen xel sax du nekk ci génn réew mi te it li ci gën a yéeme mooy buñ demee bitim réew li ci ëpp ci mbay la ñuy dellu rek mbay moomu ñu bàyyi fii nii te suuf kenn gënul ñu ko am nañ suuf bu baax suuf bu nangu suuf boo xam ne loo ko dénk rek dana la ko téyel bu rafet delloo la ko ci delloo bi gën a rafet kon nag Soyel ñoom itam ñu ngi leen di jërëjëfal bu baax ndax ñun de gis nañ seen bopp ci liggéey bi nga xam ne ñu ngi ko seqoon ak ñoom ndax wax dëgg yàlla comme ni ko Omar Diaw waxee tool yi li nga xam ne mooy also bi ñu fa def feeñ na fa bu baax a baax boo demee ci gerte bi qualité bi nga xam ne moom la joxe place bi ko amul place bi amul also bu amul qualité boobu kon am na njëriñ ñun gis nañ ci suñ bopp kontaan nañ ci bu baax li ñuy ñaax kay mbokk yi mooy ñu gën a góorgóorlu yokk loolu mu gën a yaatu ba réew mi yëpp gis seen bopp suñ ko defee rek soppeeku dana am ci mbay mi waaye nag surtout government nañ jox loxo baykat yi ñu dimbale leen suñ bëggee am jàmm ndax jàmm réew mi mooy xiif jógee ci réew mi bu xiif jógee ci réew mi rek jàmm am waaye tànk xiif mu ngi ci réew mi jàmm amagul ndax soo gisee problème yi ñu am yépp ñàkk gu rëy gi moo ñu ko yóbboo waaw banditisme yi fi nekk ak di rey nit ñeeg di jël seen alal yooyu yëpp ñàkk rek moo ko waral waaye su fekkoon kenn ku ne am na ci lum téye wallahi alazim konoon kenn ku ne lam yor daf koy doy sëkk du soxlaal laal alali jàmbur loolu nag mënuñ cee mucc lu dul ñu dellu ci tool yi dellu ci suuf bi lépp mu ngi ci suñ ci delloo fas yéene liggéey rek yàlla dana dimbale ci loolu ndax lépp loo xam ne ñu ngi koy sàkku rek rawatina dund doomu aadama loolu mu ngi ci suuf ndax ñun ñëpp kenn mënta lekk loo xam ne jógewul ci mbay lépp looy dundee rek ci mbay lay jógee waaw kon su ko defee mbay moomu comme mooy suñ àdduna mooy tax suñ àdduna baax suñ ko toppatooyee mooy tax suñ àdduna rafet te it mooy tax suñu alaaxira rafet ndax bu fekkee ne dund gi xéwén na si la ñuy mën a jaamu yàlla su boobaa buñ dajee yàlla rek yàlla gërëm waaye su fekkee suñ dund yéwénut suñ jëf mën naa bañ a yéwén te su boobaa it buñ dajee suñ borom dafay xaw a doy waar kon loolu yëpp ñu bàyyi ko xel ñi ngi sant yàlla bu baax ci tiimu Ibrahima Jara bi nga xam ne ñoom la doon liggéeyal wax dëgg yàlla ñu neexal liggéeyal leen waxtu wu nekk fekk nañ ñu ko ci tool yi waaye buñ ñëwee duñ am dara loo xam ne daf ñuy naqadi loo xam ne dafay jógee ci ñoom lu ñuy wax wala lu ñuy jëf loo xam ne du ñuy neex ci suñu tool yi wax dëgg yàlla liggéey bi rafet na sant nañ yàlla bu baax ndax tàmbale woon nañ ko ci bisimilah mottali nañ ko ci alhamdulilah te it gis nañ ci njëriñ loolu yàlla na yokk yàlla na yàlla dëgëral leen ñoom ay ndaw leen waaye yàlla na yàlla daf leen mag ñu ngi wax seen kilifa yi ne kontaan nañ ci yéen bu baax a baax lii nii rek la suñ continuer ci lii dana am solo bu ko defee réew mi yëpp dana soppeeku te bu soppeekoo rek incha allah suñ càkkuteef yëpp danañ ko am kon ñu ngi waxaat beneen yoon ne nañ gëstuwaat baykat yi dimbale leen rawatina ñi nga xam ne amuñu doole gis nga am na ñoo xam ne tey bépp teraanga bu ñu am rek ñu ngi ko jëlee ci mbay te ba fi mu toll nii képp koo xam ne jox nga jublu nga mbay mi jox ko xàqam bépp teraanga booy wut da nga ko am bépp teraanga booy wut da nga ko am gis nga tubaab yi ngay gis nga wax koo xam ne dafay nekk directeur bu banque laa wax waaye su jógee liggéeyukaayam rek dafay dem ci tool yi waaw gëm googu ñu gëm seen bopp ak liggéey ak suuf si loolu moo leen may li ñu am kon ñun itam nañ def loolu ñun Gambie am nañ changé am nañ suuf bu baax suuf bu nangu am nañ ndox mu neex waaye loolu ñun ñoo ko gëmul loolu nag la ñu war a gëm dellu ci suuf bi ñu xam ne suñu teraanga foofu la nekk yal na yàlla dimbale ñu ci loolu ñu ngi jégalu ci kàddu yi yal na yàlla gërëm jëf ji nawet bi yal na yàlla barkeel ko lépp luñ ci jëree rek yal na yàlla def ci muur def ci suñu warsak ci barke yonent bi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam ñu ngi jégalu ñëpp wa axiru dawaana an alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin wa salaamu aleykum wa rahmatullah.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jim Ture, for that wonderful speech. He is also a research farmer at West Coast region here in Bafuloto. He is definitely very hardworking, and then he is a promising farmer. So he also mentioned that for us to stop illegal migration, we must invest in agriculture. So investing in agriculture also, this is why we are here and talking about the soils. So we hope that in the next few years to come, the story will be different. So I will just want to call upon the last farmer to come and also give us his sharing benefits or his benefits from the program. This one is from North Bank. We are also implementing the project, a project they are called the Soil Doctors Training. So right now she is a trainee, and we will want to invite her to come and share the benefits she derived from the project. I would like to call upon Mrs. Umi Cham. Yeah, Mrs. Umi Cham, to come and give us her benefits from the project. Umi, you are welcome.
Kontaan ne ku si nekk li ngay liggéey suñ la wonee buntu bi rek dañ si bépp moo tax ma ne suma wax du si bëri ndek kontaan maa ngi nuyu Baye Jara di nuyu Ibrahima Senghor di rafetlu jotaay bi lu bëree bëri kontaan nañ ne li ñu jàngal fii nii mbégte la si ñun biñ demee ba nga xam ne nii jàngal nañ ñu ko ñu dem ba si tool yi ñu gas tool yi gis ni tool yi mel bon dinañ dellu sant yàlla wan nañ ñu comme ni ngay nattee suuf bi nga xam ne nii am na acide ak bi amul acide loolu noonu yëpp fi mu ne xam nañ ko suñ demee ba war a jóg pour liggéey suñ demee dinañ xam place bi nga xam ne nii foofu lañ mën a commencé suñ liggéey am na yoo xam ne ñu ngi ko doon sànni ndekete njëriñ la si suñ biir man dama dee bay gerte di bay tamit si noor bi ne damay bay gerte dama daan leb engrais su ma eboo ne man ne am ma leb jiwu leb engrais léegi xam nga boor boobu noonu su ma lebee jiwu bon tamit engrais bi wàcc na leen lii nii dañ ko doon liggéey ñu ngi ko jóor si àll bi xamuñoon luy njëriñam am na ñoo xam ne sax mun ne am xam ne njëriñam muy comme soil bi ñu wax nii ñun comme si olof ñu ngi koy wax xotti yoxos waaw xotti yoxos lañ koy ooye léegi xam nañ lii njëriñam dañ ko daan sànni mu nekk fa duñ ko jëriñoo waaye fi mu ne nii su ma yeboon ne dinañ ko jëriñoo bu baax biñ ñu wanee bunt moo tax ma ne ñu ngi dolli sant yàlla di kontaan comme si jotaay bi ñu ngi rafetlu jotaay bi lu bëree bëri di leen sant di leen gërëm fiñ bëgg ñu yegg yal nañu fa yàlla yeggale yal nañ tasee jotaay yu bëree bëri yàlla yokk xam-xam borom xam-xam yi mënoon nañoo jëfoo xam-xam bi yemale ko seen biir waaye dañ koy yaatal ci suma biir nuyoo maa ngi fàtte maa ngi dellu gannaaw di fàtte wone fu ma jógee maa ngi jógee North Bank dëkk bu ñuy wax Bantankiling laa jóge kontaan naa dégg nit ñi bi ñu fa dalee ñëw ba léegi time bu ñu ñëwee jàngal mag neexut soo toogee mag di ko jàngal loolu ku gëm yàlla rek ak gëm li ngay def kooku moo ko mun ne soo jàngalee mag man ne am ni nga ko woon nekkul ne loolu lay gis te doo ko wax ne lii nii dellul gannaaw danga koy rafetlu rek nga woon ko jàllar bi nga wax ji te woon ko ne ko nii ak nii la loolu noonu yëpp ku daal gëm yàlla moo ko maa ngi leen di sant di leen gërëm di leen ñaanal fu ñu bëgg a yegg yàlla nañu fa yàlla yeggal ma tënk suma wax fii rek jërëjëf.
I will want to take on that responsibility to take you through the activities that we are going to be doing during this week. So, as already it has started, one of the activities we want to do is already ongoing, which is a press conference to give information out there on the activities of soils and the actions we are actually taking to give our contributions to the public to understand that this is what actually the Soil Solution is doing with their partners. So the second activity we want to do, which is going to be tomorrow on the 24th of November to 26th of November, this is an activity which is going to be on radio programs. It's going to be on radio programs. We also want to go outside there because not everybody have the access to come here and have this conference with us. So there is also another way or another mechanism of giving information out, which is the radio, which is the television. So we want to make sure that we use the mass media to relay this information to farmers. That is what actually the Soil Solution and partners are doing. So we will be having a community radio program. So what we want to do is we want to have these programs on communities. There are certain communities that have a radio program. So we want to make sure that we have this program on communities like Buyam is having one community radio. So how we plan to do it is the host will be Soil Solution and partners who are actually being the pioneers of this project or the activities ongoing. They will be the host, and then we will have a farmer, 1 or 2 farmers, to attend the program and then give this information of the ongoing activities on the radio, and for the people who are listening and followers to gain and then benefit from what actually we are doing. This is how we intend to do the community radio program, and this community.
Yes, thank you so much for that question. I think it's very important. As far as sustainable soil management is concerned, and as far as stakeholder involvement or engagement is concerned, I think real estate companies or developers could have been present here so that they can also learn about how they are actually degrading our lands or exposing our lands to degradation, like soil erosion, soil compaction, and etc. But then I think also this press conference will serve as a platform for them too, because I believe all the media, press and print media here, when they publish their articles on media, online or offline, there must be some real estate companies that will be watching or reading. And therefore, the information could be something that is going to be helpful to them to know that, okay, I don't have to do this, or if I have to do this, this is how I need to do it. Also, we are not stopping the engagement here, or we are not stopping the campaign here. Like Senghor mentioned, we will be also furthering the campaign on radio talk shows, which could reach anybody, whether the real estate company, whether the one buying compounds from real estate or etc. And also we want to host a TV panel too, which could also be listened or watched by real estate developers. And this could serve as a message that could be useful for them in how they develop their real estates in the Gambia. But then I feel very bad sometimes when I walk around the countryside and then find a place that was forest totally being cleared by the real estate companies, just in the sake of making profit. Forget about making your life well. So I think one of the speakers speak here that if you want a healthy life, you need a healthy food. And for me, I used to tell people, medicine is not healthcare. Medicine is sick care, but it is food that is healthcare. Okay, it's only when you are sick you go to the hospital to get medication. That you are sick, that is sick care. But if you want to be healthy, you eat from healthy foods. Healthy foods are never possible, are never available if there is no healthy soils. So I think that is a good question, but also I think this platform could be a source where real estate developers could also learn and then also change their ways of developing their real estates. Thank you.
From other service units, media houses, all the media houses present here. Mr. Jaune from Agriculture Engineering Services. Actually, the question my colleagues asked is very, very important. You know, agriculture, for us to make agriculture, to improve, we need to put in best management practices to conserve our soil. So you talk about farmers, whenever they need any plowing service, it should be specified to them that this is the kind of service you need. Normally in our unit, our responsibilities are, to train operators how to do the proper trade on the farm. We are also responsible to repair and maintenance of agricultural machineries. Our office also provides technical specification of machineries that suit our own working condition. This is where this soil protection come into play. Because not every machine can be used in Gambia or can be adaptable here. Some machineries may be applicable and some may not be applicable. So our major role as agricultural engineering service to promote mechanization, we always make sure any operator we are going to give a tractor to you, we have to train you and satisfy you. Because we know operators are very important people in our mechanization. You can buy a machine for $1 million, and if your operator is not qualified, he can turn you that $1 million into only $1. That's why we always make it deemed necessary to make sure we operate our operator to do the right thing on the farmland. If you look at the Gambia, the arable of our land, depth of our land is 30 centimeters. So an operator who don't know about that depth, the depth control, the person will just come and start to destroy the soil. And it can take almost 20 years before the soil can get by its fertility. So that's why our unit is very, very concerned about the kind of operators to give him myself. If even possible, if you want to make as part of our mechanization policy, any operator in the Gambia, if you want to, if you are a tractor operator, you want to operate, we are the one to satisfy you, purposely, to conserve this soil, because soil is the fundamental of agricultural activities. It's where everything starts. Man have gained a lot of benefit from soil. It's where we are doing our life. It's where we are doing our building. It's where we also feed in. So if the land is not well prepared, the output of the farmer will not be too much, and this is not good for the population. The objective of the farmer is to feed the population, also provide income for themselves, that's commercialization, and also to protect the environment. So because if the land is not being protected, you cannot come back again to do your farming activity. So you see that land preparation is a key in agricultural activities. Yeah, I thank you.
Hello everyone.
Good afternoon.
Mr. Jara, as far as during your speech, I noticed that you did not mention something about mechanization to train farmers how to know about the importance of mechanization during plowing, because farmers need to know when they are inviting tractor operators, they need to know the different types of plow. Either this plow is mainly for a plant or is mainly for lowland, because there are certain, normally during the process, erosion is always caused by that during the production period. So you need to invite the farmers to know the different type of plow, and at the same time also if you can train them, the tractor operators, that will also minimize the rate of erosion during production. It's very important. That's what I have.
Thank you so much, Mr. Gassama.
Even myself, I can answer the question, if I can provide any answer for that question. Yes, and then please, if you are asking your question, make sure you give your name, make sure also you give the institution you are representing, you also provide the institution you are representing. It will be very important. Yeah, thank you so much. So the floor is open.
Unit that is responsible for mechanizing agriculture, and that is Mr. Lamin Jaunedea, who is representing the director here. I think these are the people responsible of training farmers on how to plow or to till a soil using mechanic equipments or tools. And of course, there is a certain depth that the plows need to go into the soil, and I'm sure the technical unit here knows what is the depth, and I'm sure they are also training people to take care of plowing in order to avoid degrading soil in the name of plowing it or helping the farmer. So that was a good suggestion, but also Mr. Jaune is here if you also want to add something to that.
Even myself, I can answer the question, if I can provide any answer for that question. Yes, and then please, if you are asking your question, make sure you give your name, make sure also you give the institution you are representing, you also provide the institution you are representing. It will be very important. Yeah, thank you so much. So the floor is open.
Executive Director, Mr. Ibrahim Ajara, the soil solution, order
Asked. Firstly, you said, where are you from, please? Gambia? Gambian talent. She asked the question on how to minimize soil erosion, which, of course, Mr. Ibrahim Ajara delved into. You know, this unit, as I said earlier, is responsible for soil management and irrigation as far as agriculture is concerned in this country. So every year we have what we call our reconnaissance surveys. This is just, one can equate to what you call diagnosis in health. Like if a patient comes to the hospital and complains of a certain condition, the doctor will diagnose the patient. So that is the same diagnosis we make to the soils of this country every year. So during the process, we find out what the problems are in different parts of the country every year, because you know soil is dynamic too, it changes over time, period. So when we find out what the problems are, which of course in most of the cases will include soil erosion, we have activities that used to be run by this unit singularly. Now it has been, how do I say it? It has been spread across so many other actors, like projects will now intervene, but yet still through us. Development partners like FAO and so on will also intervene in different parts of the country. But essentially what we do is, the first thing is about the plowing. I said earlier that the soils of this country are divided into 24 soil associations, which we give our local names to, each of them, I mean. So you will come to realize that the depth, the cultivation depth, like Mr. Jaune just mentioned, for instance, in a particular village in West Coast may be different from that in North Bank region. Generally, it's 30 centimeters, but in some cases you will find a soil depth of less than 30 centimeters. In some places, it will be close to 30 centimeters. So this soil depth is what we consider as far as agriculture is concerned, because it is where the crops would do whatever they have to do, would get all what they require, like in terms of nutrients, water, because it's like the survival area of the plant. Further than that, the plant cannot do well. Of course, there are other plants like big trees that have root systems that go deeper than that. But I mean for our crops like whose millet, corn, groundnut, and so on, vegetables and so on, they have this lower depth. Further than that, they cannot do better. So, for instance, you go to a place where the cultivation depth is just, let's say, 15 centimeters, and you apply a plowing depth of 25 centimeters. What you do is, essentially, you are turning down the essential part of the soil deeper into the soil, and probably even exposing toxic elements to the surface, whereby creating problems. So, and the soil now will become vulnerable to erosion, water erosion, wind erosion, and so on. So we take care of that together with the engineering unit so that the plowing depths, are taken care of. So they are responsible for training tractor and other equipment operators. The other thing is about the vocational training. As far as we are concerned, in soil management, we conduct a lot of trainings across the country with farmers. That is what we have for the moment, in our unit. We train farmers. We have, myself, sometimes I'm very much involved in the training, as a trainer, and some of my staff here. We train farmers across the whole, the 5 regions of the country on how to manage soil and water, because this is our area of specialization. But I think Soil Solution can also look into that possibility of maybe venturing into a special vocational school that is dedicated to sustainable soil management. I think that will be applauded as well.
It's going to be free for farmers, or they will have to pay? I think this is one of the best questions, yeah? Actually, soil erosion can be minimized or mitigated in many ways. And of course, Mr. Job also is here with lengthy experience. I think he has been in the soil services for 30 years and plus. But some of the ways that we are doing it is planting trees or encouraging agroforestry, where farmers have to include some fruit trees or trees in their field. And also mulching is also one of the ways that you can use to minimize erosion. But also there are some mechanization ways where you use riprap method to develop or to pour stones or construct a dike stones along water running ways, and then that is going to minimize the runoff of waters. Contour plowing is also one of them, where a farmer cultivating in a slope area will have to use some ribs, hips, to minimize the runoff of water. Cover cropping is also one of the ways that can also minimize erosion. And those are some of the ways that we minimize erosion. And in terms of the vocational school, this is something that we are really very much engaged in talking to people that we think can support this idea. And for now, I think our intention is to make it free for farmers to come and learn and then go and use the knowledge. But then I think the real answer will come when the institution is established. That is when the real answer will come. So, but for now, I think the intention is to get the farmer to come and learn for free. Yeah. Thank you.
Presenter to make a closing remark by Nyan from Banda Killing North Bank. We will want him to summarize. By Nyan, if you can summarize your closing remarks, because we are actually running out of time, it will be very, very good.
Hello, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Mr. Jara, as far as during your speech, I noticed that you did not mention something about mechanization to train farmers how to know about the importance of mechanization during plowing, because farmers need to know when they are inviting tractor operators, they need to know the different types of plow. Either this plow is mainly for a plant or is mainly for lowland, because there are certain, normally during the process, erosion is always caused by that during the production period. So you need to invite the farmers to know the different types of plow, and at the same time also if you can train them, the tractor operators, that will also minimize the rate of erosion during production. It's very important. That's what I have.
Thank you so much, Mr. Gassama, unit that is responsible for mechanizing agriculture, and that is Mr. Lamin Jaunedea, who is representing the director here. I think these are the people responsible of training farmers on how to plow or to till a soil using mechanic equipments or tools. And of course, there is a certain depth that the plows need to go into the soil, and I'm sure the technical unit here knows what is the depth, and I'm sure they are also training people to take care of plowing in order to avoid degrading soil in the name of plowing it or helping the farmer. So that was a good suggestion, but also Mr. Jaune is here if you also want to add something to that. Yes, thank you so much for that question. I think it's very important. as far as sustainable soil management is concerned, and as far as stakeholder involvement or engagement is concerned, I think real estate companies or developers could have been present here so that they can also learn about how they are actually degrading our lands or exposing our lands to degradation, like soil erosion, soil compaction, and etc. But then I think also this press conference will serve as a platform for them too, because I believe all the media, press and print media here, when they publish their articles on media, online or offline, there must be some real estate companies that will be watching or reading. And therefore, the information could be something that is going to be helpful to them to know that, okay, I don't have to do this, or if I have to do this, this is how I need to do it. Also, we are not stopping the engagement here, or we are not stopping the campaign here. Like Senghor mentioned, we will be also furthering the campaign on radio talk shows, which could reach anybody, whether the real estate company, whether the one buying compounds from real estate or etc. And also we want to host a TV panel too, which could also be listened or watched by real estate developers. And this could serve as a message that could be useful for them in how they develop their real estates in the Gambia. But then I feel very bad sometimes when I walk around the countryside and then find a place that was forest totally being cleared by the real estate companies, just in the sake of making profit. Forget about making your life well. So I think one of the speakers speak here that if you want a healthy life, you need a healthy food. And for me, I used to tell people, medicine is not healthcare. Medicine is sick care, but it is food that is healthcare. Okay, it's only when you are sick you go to the hospital to get medication. That you are sick, that is sick care. But if you want to be healthy, you eat from healthy foods. Healthy foods are never possible, are never available if there is no healthy soils. So I think that is a good question, but also I think this platform could be a source where media, real estate developers could also learn and then also change their ways of developing their real estates. Thank you.
By that I mean you need to improve the nourishing capacity of our soils. Otherwise, the plants that we grow on those soils may not have the adequate nutrients they require. And at the end of the day, you have a poor harvest. So, but for us in the Department of Agriculture, we are encouraging organic fertilizers to be used. And the Regional Director of Agriculture for West Coast is here. They have programs whereby farmers are taught how to prepare these organic fertilizers on their own and use them. They are more efficient, they are more durable. Chemical fertilizers last for maybe 1 or 2 seasons. Organic fertilizers may last for as long as 5 years in the soil. So we need to augment our soils so that the plants may get the necessary elements that they require to survive, just like us as human beings. We all require elements that we get in our foods. When you eat your whatever, carrot or your soup or whatever, you have elements that you derive from the food that helps you to survive. In the same vein, the plants also require the same elements in different forms, like in the form of fertilizers or in the form of organic fertilizer and whatever. So, but for them, they consume these elements in a different manner, totally different from how human beings consume theirs. You will come to realize that fertilizers are produced in powdery forms or in pellet forms and so on that are dissolvable in water. And this is how the plants take in these foods, we will call them. But how do they take it? They do not take them in the air. It is always in the soil. That's another reason why soil is very important. They take them in dissolved form in the irrigation water that is applied naturally or that you apply as a person to crops. They are dissolved and the plant absorb it in the watery form and then make use of the nutrients. And it is also the irrigation water that you apply to the plants or that are applied naturally are used by the plants in the soil It is also in the soil that you find those microbes, microorganisms, that helped to break down those foods that you provide in the form of fertilizers, be it organic or chemical fertilizers. They are the sort of, what do I call it, manufacturing engines that would break down the food for the plants to be able to absorb them in a solution form. So, and all that happens in the soil. It is also in the soil that plants get the anchor they need. Anchor is the support, because you see plants standing upright in most of the cases if they are not creeping plants. It is the soil that holds them in place. In the greenhouses, they have devices that would probably clip the plants in an upright position and put them in the food solution that is provided for them. But in the case of soil, it is the soil that gives the plants those anchors. That's another importance of the soil. It is also in the soil that the seeds that you plant or sow develop. The development of the seeds happen, be it seeds or cuttings, happen in the soil. Even generally, the plant development, as you see the plants, rising up, the development aspect is within the soil in which it is, planted. So all those things, these things compounded together will give you the benefits of soil as a very important component in the production of any crop you can think of in the world. So because this is a press briefing, I don't want to give a whole lengthy speech. I would stop for now. If later questions will arise, then we can make discussions on those as we progress. Thank you very much.
Assalamu alaikum. Ñu ngi lay nuyu yéen ñëpp ku nekk seen tur ak seen sant di kontaan si bés bii nii di nuyu bi ne ñu ngi koy jiital si suñu boos ñu nga xam ne mooy kii Mr Diop Mr Dramé moom génne na di nuyu ñoom Baye Jare tamit di kontaan tamit si bés bii nii ak xam-xam bu ñu jox lii yokkute la si béykat yi ndam la tamit dina isi wét gu yaram soo amee wét gu yaram di nga mën a liggéey ñun North Bank kon ñun am nañ njëriñ ci projet bii nii test nañ ko nangu nañ ko te xam ne tamit lu dem ci kanam la gëm nañ ne oyster bii nii ñuy wax ñun yoxos lu jëriñ la ci ñun te dinañu wàññi tamit dépasse boo xam ne ni ñu ngi ko doon def suñ béyteef suñ nawet lu ñu gën a ñaax nag mooy suñ boos yi mooy ñu dimbale ñu fuñ toll nii soo déggee ne ñu yoxos foog ñu dëbb ko mu nooy tuuti dëbb boobu nag xaalis pour nga fay ko loolu du problème waaye dëbb bi nag daf dee isi léegoo-léeg jafe-jafe ñooñu ñu mun a jàppale yéen boos yi ba dëbb boobu mun a yomb ñuy génnee ñun suñ xaalis sax pour def ko pour luñ mun a soxla yëpp mun a am di nga gis ne ñëpp dinañ si mun a jot ren def nañ ko ñoomi Mbanta te ñun waa Mbanta tamit fas yéene neen jox ko yeneen dëkk jox leen exemple bi ñu test ko pour loolu mun a yokk nga xam ne ñun ëpp ñoom yëpp dinañ si mun a jot su boobaa Gambie yëpp dinañ si mun a jot ñu ngi jéggalu nag ñuy rafetlu programme bi di leen sant di leen gërëm asalaamaaleykum wa rahmatullah.
So ntol youth sol bi ntol na faale jan say mecho ba karana mun tol daawda bla beti ñaata
pour ñu am liggéey sa problème la Gambien bi dañ dee jël ñi sa liggéey pour ñu fay la problème la foreigner su ñëwee ñu fay la xaalis yu bari
kata jita do ko la be do ko la stay house ajita do ko la talan nan talul wato abidjan awakilta akabotaita
after this sabi mo ñoo am nak ci digante bilaay affaire mu ova ñëw metti nak
tonya nyindula ni mari man setalla ni atelier kumandi je ferati je ibita jel o jon fana be domo kinolo bul
jon ila la nyino bi ni la wato bi kay abe taraje walam tonya so still ndenen kulon lo tambita ne kulon mo fana mbita
tonya be dame nyim bagwe masakunda la be cost
secondly government bi tam defut fi dara house of parliament ni ñu ngi gis
dëkk yu moom doo day gis loolu noonu fii yëpp mu ngi dox dem ba si guddi ba léegi laat mu ngi dem di bi tuusi guddi ba léegi laat mu ngi dem
you understand so ñina tina right now tolbe xamo minti
ndara xamo still Gambia man solution je mi menda mako no la nti nga rich sense and nga na family bi mako
wala mo mole mun ka mole murundina kata ka fo ko ngai sai ndina kulum tuye na ngali mole mutale murundina